Wagwan, everybody, welcome back. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, it's another social production. Thank you very much for joining me. Glad you made it. That's right, we're doing it on Friday, February the 7th, 2025. Wherever you're tuning in from. Whether it's we're reporting from the 51st state right here. So if you're tuning in from the 51st state, up in the Canadas, or the new United States of the Americas, or the extension of the Americas, or further down south in the United States, we're further down south than that, Mexico, South America, over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, the islands, Italy, France, Kazakhstan, the Philippines, over there in India, over there in Pakistan, over there in wherever you're tuning in from, the pyramids, over there in Peru, over there in Chile, you Chileans, wherever you're tuning in from, the Spanish people, the Spaniards. Oh, it's good to be alive. It's good to be kicking. I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling good too. Let's get it going. Let's have a little bit of fun. It is Friday. Gonna keep it loose, and it's all about you. Remember though, we're just gonna take a trip. Let's just think about this as a trip. You be tripping, I be tripping, we be tripping together. All right, take a trip. Let's have some fun, and let's get right into it. Ladies and gents, let's get a sip of this bad boy right here. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, I'll say this. Let's start with this. Let us start with this. The small penis friends, that's what you need in your life, ladies and gents. If you're a fella out there, you're trying to impress a lady or another fella, or maybe a group of friends, family members, I don't care who you're trying to impress, but you're trying to impress them nonetheless. And you got a normal sized penis, adequate sized penis. And you're just like, oh, I wish there was a way that I could look a little bit bigger in front of my family, friends, my lover. And normally it can't happen. Normally that's a dreamer's way of looking at life. I wish this, I wish that, it can't. But until now, that's why I decided to start providing a service where people listen up. We hire professionals with smaller sized penises to go around and show up near you and reveal their smaller penis, and in comparison to yours, it'll look smaller, which means it'll make your penis look much bigger in front of your lover. Want to impress a lady? I know you do. Ladies, you want to be impressed? Well, get your sweetheart the gift of small penis friends. That's right. Professionally trained, showing up at any event, showing up at any place, removing their pants and underwear, and simultaneously maybe removing your partner's pants and underwear as well to reveal what? Their penis, their much, much larger penis, adequately sized, regular sized penis. But again, in comparison to the small penis friends, they will definitely look much more grand. And that's when the W's start rolling in and you start collecting checks, baby. So if you're like, penis, I've got a 6-inch peen and it's great, but it's no 7 or 8 incher, it's no 10-inch peen. Well, guess what, friend? There's somebody out there that's got a smaller penis than you, and these guys will show up. I'm talking, you're holding hands with your lover. You just came out of a restaurant, you parked downstairs in the P3 parking, you're about to take the elevator, you happen to go in, and there's another gentleman, just nonchalantly another gentleman. What is this? Just 3 people going down to get in our cars and drive out of this parking lot. Next thing you know, this beautiful gentleman unzips his pants, reveals his smaller penis, and that's when you start shining. That's when you start, moving closer at whatever it is that you're trying to get closer to. Maybe you're trying to I love my lady. I just wish I could just show her, I want to put a ring on it, but I just want to show her that, she's making a right decision. As soon as she sees that small penis friend right there, she knows in her heart of hearts that she's made the right decision. It's a birthday party. You're gathering with all your friends and everybody's just like, everybody's having a good time. It's a birthday party. Would you like some cake? Would you like some champagne? Would you like some wine? Anybody want to roll a joint or two, pass it around? Next thing you know, you're feeling good. You're feeling good about yourself. Regular sized penis, 6-inch penis, no big deal. All of a sudden, stranger shows up delivering a package, perhaps in form of a gift. Next thing you know, unzips his pants, removes his underwear, and takes off your pants, removes your underwear as well. Small penis friends will make your regular sized penis look much, much bigger. And all of a sudden, after he's dropped off the gift, he will drive away in his delivery car, leaving your friends extremely impressed. Your dad's in the hospital, recovering from a nothing major, nothing. He's doing fine. He got plastic surgery. Your dad got fucking dealt. He got it was a plastic surgery. Why does always, oh, my dad's in the hospital, it's got to be a bad thing, no, your dad got just, fake muscles. He got fake breast implants, like, male breast implants, and you're there to guide him through his recovery. Family members maybe visiting with friends. All of a sudden, who rolls in? Small penis friend removes his pants, removes his underwear, removes your pants and underwear as well. Look, Dad. You feel good with your fake pecs, but your son is walking around with a much larger penis, and everybody will clap and everybody will be happy for you, and they'll remember. It'll get etched in their memories. It'll get just, oh, remember that time we were at the hospital visiting Frank for his pec implants? That's right. Oh, remember that guy came with a small penis, and then Jeff over here, our boy, had a much larger penis. Way to go, Jeff. High fives all around for Jeff. So there you go, small penis friends. This is a service that you didn't think you need, but I went ahead and created it out there out of the goodness of my heart, just giving back to the community. So you're welcome out there. Ladies and gents, it's Friday, of course. It's the end of the week, beginning of February. A couple of more months, man. A couple of more months and it's spring. I'm excited. But it was... I'll say this, it's just, I was thinking about this, and I figured I think we might be doing something wrong together. Think about this. I think we're sitting on the toilet the wrong way. I genuinely think we're sitting on the toilet the wrong way. Because sure, you think it makes sense to sit on it, the way you've been sitting on it traditionally. But if you turn around and sit on the toilet backwards, you actually have something to lean on, something to do a little bit of work on. A lot of people are spending more time on the toilet, which is why you need someone to lean on. Someone you can actually multitask with. It's kind of like a table. The tank that holds the water is kind of like a table. It's like a tabletop. You could be doing a lot of work. Multitasking is the new way. It's 2025 moving forward. Everybody should be doing more. You don't have time to, oh, I wonder if I have enough time to do my homework and take a deuce. Oh, I got to hand this paper in before the professor, gives me I already got an extension from the prof. I can't afford to lose more time. You turn around while you're sitting on the counter, you write your paper, you type it up, resting your laptop on top of the water tank behind the toilet. That's what you do. You sit on the toilet backwards and get the most out of your toilet sitting experience. Why just take a piss when you could be reading the newspaper while resting your elbows comfortably on top of the toilet? It's fantastic. I mean, if you think about it, we've been doing it wrong the entire time. I suggest you even lay down some food on top of the surface that's provided for you. Eat simultaneously, knowing that you're not gonna. How many times have you been eating on the toilet facing the way you normally do? You're munching on an apple. Next thing you know, oh, there it goes. I dropped the apple in the toilet bowl. Oh no! And now you're gonna have to reach in the toilet bowl, which you've already pissed and shit in, and grab the apple and start chewing again. And then it's whatevs. It's fine. It's your piss and shit. It doesn't matter. But like, if you could have avoided dropping the apple, it would have been great. Now you don't need to worry. How many times have you been eating pasta on the toilet bowl while taking a shit or piss? Next thing you know, oh, there goes the linguine down there. Next thing you know, you're knee deep in the toilet bowl, just trying to, salvage as many linguinis as possible. How many times you put it in your mouth and you eat it and nobody's, asking questions? Fine. But does that have to happen? No, it doesn't. You can easily turn around, rest your elbows, put a plate, set out a plate for yourself. Sit up straight, comfortably, and eat on the toilet with the assurance of knowing you got elbow support. It's very important. I just, it's the little things that go a long way. It's the little things that makes the difference. Want to, do a little bit of arts and crafts. Nothing makes the sitting on the toilet and taking a shit or piss experience better than doing a little bit of arts and crafts at the same time. Turn around. And think about it. If somebody were to accidentally or on purpose walk in on the bathroom, do you want to be facing that individual, revealing your most private, most dear and near parts of your body to a stranger or even a loved one when it's not expected for you to expose yourself? No, you want to be facing them. You want your back to be facing them. That's right. They're only going to get a view of your ass crack, which is saving you a lot of, in one less awkward conversation to have. Remember that time that I was sitting traditionally on the toilet and then you came in and you saw my peen while I was getting rid of fecal matter out of my anus. Remember that time? That conversation will never have to come up again. All right? How many times have you had to have that conversation? Well, gone are those days. It's the future. We're doing it together. Sit on the toilet the proper way. I think it was actually meant for us to sit on it while we can rest our elbows on top of the tank. But, you know, I don't know what it is, man. Fake news, misinformation, whatever you want to call it. I think we've all been duped. And deep down inside, if we really think about it, we know we've been duped. But it's time to turn shit around, literally. So go ahead and sit on the toilet the new way. That's right. Dun, 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 dun. We be tripping together. I don't like the fact that I go to a restaurant and sit down and finish a meal and the waitress or waiter comes up and asks if I'd like to have a wet nap. I feel like it's a little bit misguided. I feel like it's a little bit out of place. Just because I spent, you know, a little bit of money and sat down and had a meal at your restaurant doesn't mean that I now want to snuggle up in a corner in a fetal position and take a wet nap with you, lady. All right? I mean, it's not that I mind it, but it's just a little bit on call. Would you like a wet nap? I mean, are you first of all, get out of my mind, because yes, I would like to, but the fact that it's coming out of a stranger's mouth is a little bit uncalled for. Would I like a wet nap? We don't know each other. This is just a little transaction, monetary transaction for services. All right? I give you the monies, you give me the food, thank you very much. Everybody's pleased and thank yous and, you know, all that jazz. But at the end of the day, you come back with the, would you like a wet nap? Would I like a wet nap? This is just a little monetary exchange. This is just me being hungry. My tum-tum needs to be filled. You provide delicious food. Doesn't give you the right to just go around offering people wet naps. All right? And that puts a lot of pressure on me too, because at the same time, I'll tell you that I've taken a lot of naps in my time. You know, a very small portion of those naps have been wet. A very small portion. Probably most of them probably happen even during my younger days, which is when it's supposed to happen. As an adult, it's hard to have wet naps. It's extremely hard. So putting that kind of pressure on a fella or even a lady, would you like a wet nap? Maybe the lady would like a wet nap, but maybe with somebody who she feels comfortable with. How about that? How about that, stranger? Would you like a wet nap? Uncalled for. And then on top of that, you expect a tip as well. I mean, how would it even work out? Like, do you have like a designated wet napping area in the back in the basement that I'm not aware of? Is this facility some sort of a, you know, get your grub on and then get your rub on? Is that one of them joints? Is this the kind of business that you're running? Because if so, advertise it. As they say, honesty is the best policy. That and let's take a trip together. Those two things, those are the two best policies in the entire history of humanity. So, you know, it's just a little bit uncalled for. I'm not, and I don't know your sleeping habits. Do I go for my traditional big spoon position, or do you want to call dibs on that too? Since you're so straightforward, would you like a wet nap? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe you read my mind. Maybe I just wasn't prepared. Maybe I'm just, you know, maybe you put a guy in a comfortable position. Maybe I'll say okay to the wet nap. What are the conditions? Have other people been taking previous wet naps before me? Do you change the sheets is what I want to know. All right? Don't want to be just, you know, grabbing a little bit of food. Next thing you know, picking up a little bit of STDs, a little bit of STIs. No, thank you. Like, maybe next time, yes, of course, but it's just a little bit upfront for my taste. But I do also enjoy being upfront, I'll tell you that. It's just a little, I'm not used to it, to be honest with you. I don't know what to make of it. I'll take you up on it next time offered, but how would you feel if, you know, put yourself in other people's position? You know, you can't just go up to people and be like, would you like a wet nap? Would you like a wet nap? I mean, it's one of those, you know, it's delightful, sure, but you got to plan for these things. So advertise as part of the eating experience at your facility, at your restaurant, so that we know what we're in store for. That's all I'm trying to say. And again, I don't know which position would I be in. If it's like, what if it's a larger lady who'd like to, you know, take the big spoon position? Am I ready for that? God, sometimes I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, maybe I would like a pair of large tits behind my neck, just comforting me and just making me feel like everything's gonna be okay. Maybe I do want that. Maybe it was just a little bit unexpected after the meal. But next time, now that I know, we're being honest. now I'll prepare myself for the wet nap experience, but I'm just, it should be, there should be a little bit like, a fine print underneath your menu. You should let people know. And that's all I wanted to say. That's all I'll say. Ladies and gents. Let's get right into it because it is going to be a busy one today. It's all over the place. We'll see where it goes. We will see where it lands and we'll see what we unravel together. Let's take a trip, shall we? New Mexico courtroom brawl, ladies and gents. There was a courtroom in New Mexico and there was a brawl in it. There was a courtroom sesh going on, a beautiful courtroom sesh as courtroom sessions tend to go. Judge, you got your gavel, you got your attire, you got your wig, you got your, jury members maybe, you have your plaintiffs, you have your, the sheriff, you got your defendant, you got your alleged, you got your victim who's, in this particular case is not there. The victim was deceased, the victim was murdered. And what happened in this courtroom was that the murder was awaiting trial, I believe, alleged murderer who killed his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend. I'm not too clear about the details, either girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. And while the trial was going on, the uncle of the murdered niece, his niece who got murdered, he jumped over the benches and kind of went into, get a couple of punches in on the old murderer right there. And it begs the question, Your Honor, the members of the jury, it begs the question, is it right or is it wrong? Is it right or is it wrong? If it feels right, is it right or is it wrong? I saw that, I'm like, and we've had incidents like this in the past where people jump out and, try to either attack, the other party involved or maybe attack a judge or something. Obviously, we're not condoning any, it's a court of law and you give your respect when you're in the court of the laws. Don't go after judges or anything like that. I'm not, definitely not a fan of that. But I will say this. I'm not a fan of violence either, but in cases of when somebody raped or maybe murdered your loved ones, is it right to go and get a couple of hooks in there, get a couple of jabs in there before their sentence gets, handed out to them? Is it, technically speaking, in a traditional, on paper, no, it's not right. On paper, you should let the legal system take care of justice and do what it does best. Serve just ice. So, on paper, no. Traditionally speaking, you want the law, because then that way everybody takes it upon themselves to go do the whatever, the works of but we've handed out that monopoly of violence to the legal faculty of our society. That's what the legal departments are for. That's what the Justice Department is for, to hand out justice. Just ice. Handled by the Just Ice Department. And it feels good to have departments that do that monopolize violence, so that, because otherwise you'd have fucking people just, But in this particular case, do you, is it right or is it wrong? Technically it's wrong, but it's one of those situations where, like, again, if somebody murdered your loved ones, God forbid, if anybody, were to, go and murder your daughter, your kids, that would suck. And you're sitting in court looking at this fucking, animal. Why'd you do it, you sick son of a bitch? So you jump over the bench and maybe just land a couple of punches. There's, I'll say this, it does speak to that human spirit, of course. Anybody who, loses a loved one in terms of, a murder situation would definitely, if you get a chance, if you could, pop a motherfucker in the face a couple of times, you'd want to. You definitely want. I think that's an innate human desire to want to, protect. And it's of course. Is it wrong to be, I'm not condoning acts of violence. Do we as humans probably understand? There is a human aspect of it. If somebody murdered your daughter or your niece, and if you land a couple of punches in there, maybe for a brief moment of time, maybe the cameras could stop working at that moment. Or if there's any images of those punches, being thrown, maybe the camera was on, but it glitched and never caught that. Maybe we could just, you know what I mean? Because if somebody got murdered, and an uncle or a dad or a brother hops in and kind of, nothing major, but just a couple of hooks, just a couple of, you work the ribs for like, 30 seconds. You just go in there and, and maybe sheriffs will like get on top and like try to like remove you, but like do it the way like, remove you from the situation, but like do it the way like wrestling referees do, get off, like pull, but don't pull for, hold 30 seconds to a minute and a half. 30 seconds to 90 seconds, get it out, because it is, I'm not saying do it, I'm just saying like, I don't have any children or anything, but I could understand. So technically speaking, violence is wrong, yes, no bueno, but also low-key, without saying it, like kind of like, human to human, you land a couple of punches on a person who murdered your loved ones, that one is, not okay. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations. So should you do it? Don't. Absolutely no. I'm serious. Don't. But if you do, like good on you, sort of. You know what I mean? Like it's, I'm not. Yeah. So that one's a tricky one. But I think in most cases like this, if it's again murder or rape, you do want to kind of just. I'm not saying do it, I'm not saying you should, but the feeling is there. The feeling, we can't deny that the feeling is there, but that's why you give the feeling away to the monopolized, arm of the, government who takes care of action, takes care of business. Or if you're like, I really want to do it, then get in line and join a force of the, join a legal arm of the law, of the government. Join the leg of the Justice Department, join the calf of the, join a limb of the governments where they're in charge of maybe handing out a little bit of violence. So that way you get it out. Maybe. I'm not saying that should be the reason why you do it. I'm just saying if you want to, because I don't want you to land in trouble, saving lives. Many, many lives we save. But that's just us tripping. That's just us having a little bit of fun, ladies and gents. Let's just get through this. Let's just do this together. Because it is a little bit difficult. It's somebody's murdered your daughter or niece. You wanna, don't do it. But like, also, I get it. Ladies and gents. Ladies and gents. What else is going on in and around the world? I believe a man tried to climb a fence, the White House fence, and get in to the White House. He was dressed in all black, and he got caught by, I'm not sure if it was police officers or Secret Service or whatever. And let's go through this. Let's get through this together, because this is the situation that went down. Man dressed in all black tries to climb over the White House fence and get inside the premises. It's is it right or is it wrong? It's the essence of it. I can tell you that climbing a fence is completely fine. Climbing fences in general is great. You should climb fences, especially when you were kids. I'm pretty sure everybody can relate to that. At one point or another in your life, you have definitely climbed a fence. If you've never climbed a fence, you're missing out. You are definitely missing out. I recommend you climb a fence. It's actually a great form of exercise. It's actually one of the best forms of exercise. They say that this shit is it's a mixture, because you climb a fence, they say you work everything. You climb a fence for 5 minutes, you don't even need to work out. They say that you work a fence, you can actually start smoking. You could actually, and if you've been smoking and if you start climbing a fence, you could smoke more. That's the benefits of climbing a fence. If if you're like, how do I get myself, in a position or ready for some sort of like, what if I get into a scrap? What if I get into a brawl? Do I need to go take an MMA class? You could learn to climb a fence. So these are just some benefits of climbing fences. Now, this guy happened to climb the fence that belongs to the White House. The action in and of itself, climbing a fence is okay. Completely okay. All right? Climbing some fences, not okay. White House fence, probably not okay. Buckingham Palace fence, probably not okay. You're gonna get bitten by dogs. You're gonna get taken down by the police or security. It's not a good look. But if you are also, if you are going to be climbing fences, I say, start locally. That's the best thing. If you got if you got a house with a backyard that just parts your yard with your neighbor's yard, one of the greatest excuses to climb over a small fence, nothing major, and start playing with some sort of a ball, a volleyball, a beach ball, a soccer ball, a basketball, throw a football over onto the other side of the fence. Now you get to climb the fence and pick it back up and run over. That's, again, great exercise. No harm, no foul. Your neighbors, that's fine. The fence is just more so that we know whose property ends where and whose property starts where. But climbing fences in general, it's been with us for so long. We can't not climb fences. Jumping over a fence to get into some sort of a parking lot that, who's not jumped a fence? So jumping fences by themselves is completely okay. It's okay. You just got to pick the right place. You can't go jumping over into the White House because that you're going to get your ass bitten. You're going to get some sort of, there's going to be repercussions. And to do it in all black is, I'm definitely not saying climb into the White House or Buckingham Palace or anywhere else that's like restricted. Don't go climbing into places that are restricted. That's for, especially, government places. I'm just saying, if you are going to climb into places, you can't be wearing outfits that, stand out. You want to blend in. So even if you are starting locally, you want to climb a fence and get into some sort of a wooded area, a fenced area, a biohazardous area. I don't know what kind of position you want to put yourself into, but if you are going to do it, I know you're thinking, oh, maybe I should wear all black. Wearing all black only works in the evenings, in the nighttime. All right, wearing all black, I'm not even quite sure if he was wearing a mask or not, but maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, it doesn't matter. But wearing all black and climbing a fence in broad daylight does not bode well for you. You're going to be seen, you're going to be caught. Blend in, wear attire that blends in. Look at the lay of the land. Is this some sort of suburban area? Maybe wear yellow pants that resemble fire hydrants. Maybe wear a shirt that kind of looks like fencing itself. Is the fence made of wood? Is it made of steel? Is it a mesh fence? Kind of try to blend in. Don't go in for colors that don't be wearing red and then be, climbing just a metal fence, because you'll stand out. What you want to do is get tattoos all over your body that kind of make you look like the fence. So that way they don't even see you. And you kind of want to, and you got to do layers to so you can't just, do a little bit of do your legs that, cover your legs in tattoos or attire that makes it look like, grass. Cause that's typically sometimes where fences are found. Just, oh, what is that? It's just a little bit of grass. It's your legs. It's blending in. Oh, because torso, cover it in metal bars, either tattoos or clothing or attire that resemble metal bars. Above the neck, get a tattoo painted all sort of blue. You want it to kind of look like the sky. So as you're going in and out, you just resemble the atmosphere. You blend in. You don't want to just pop it. If you're wearing all black in broad daylight, you look like a fool. You look like an idiot. You're going to be kicking yourself in the nuts when you're sitting in the can thinking what went wrong. Well, you wore all black in broad daylight and try to get into the White House. So it doesn't work. It does not work, but it is a great form of exercise. I'm telling you right now, instead of spending thousands of dollars on your children going out there and learning all sorts of sports and parkours and the backflips and the jiu-jitsu, sure, those are great. And they tell you, you take a jiu-jitsu lesson or go to a skating park with a, coach. All these things can not only improve your sense of independence, but teach you a little bit about maybe teamwork. But you can do that for free by just climbing a fence. It's been proven, it's been tested. That's why we build fences. So climb a fence today. Don't hurt yourself, but also if you're not hurting yourself, you're not even trying, dude. So I'll tell you that. I'll tell you this, get a little fence, start from your own place. Get a little fence online, buy a fence, put it in your living room, get a little bit of barbed wire, put it on top, climb over it as you're stepping in and out of bedrooms, in and out of living rooms, in and out of dining rooms. Put a fence everywhere with barbed wire. Get caught, because if it's your first time, you're caught in barbed wire and you're panicking. Next thing you know, your asshole's hanging off the barbed wire because what? You weren't prepared, man. You didn't take that time to go ahead and practice a little bit. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, my intestine, barbed wire. And you're yelling at the barbed wire and there's a canine, there's a pit bull or a Rottweiler or who knows, whatever kind of dog that's got them jaws that lock on when they bite and they don't let go. And that's scary. And I don't want you to go through that. So get a little bit of barbed wire, sleep with it, practice with it, put it in your bed as you're climbing into the bed every evening. It doesn't hurt you to get a few cuts here and there. Just a little nick, just a little nick. It doesn't matter. You're bleeding, a hit your artery. Oh my God. Well, that could happen in real life too. At least you're prepared now. At least you did it at the comfort of your own house. Do not take chances. Stay safe out there. Saving lives. Ladies and gents, it's Friday. What else is going on? A lot has been going on. It's been popping. Things have been popping off. Things are exciting. Oh, it's the greatest time to be alive. And we're gonna be going on a fucking trip, dude. Together, ladies and gents. But we'll get to that. In the meantime, a tragic story has unraveled before our eyes. It's a travesty. It's tragic. It impacted me. It touched my heart. It touched my heart and it made me feel stuff. Emotions. It made me feel all of it. I'm talking about Michael Jordan's son. Michael Jordan's son was recently arrested and caught doing the DUIs, driving under insurance, driving under Indians, driving under Italians, driving under, you know what it is, DUIs. He got caught and he parked his car near a train track of sorts because I guess he was trying to avoid getting caught, which makes sense. But then he had to face a couple of police officers, and the police started asking a few questions, and the gentleman replied something along the lines of like, do you know who my daddy is? Do you know he didn't say it like that particularly. I don't know, forget I'm not going verbatim here, but more or less the same. Do you know who my daddy is? Do you know who my dad is? I'm Michael Jordan's son. You might have said that. That might have actually been that's probably verbatim. I'm Michael Jordan's son. Here's the problem. Here's the stitch, and I want to help so that everybody can benefit. Let this be a learning experience. Let this be a learning moment. Let's learn together. Let us all learn together. So-and-so's my dad. That's, I'm so-and-so's son. I'm, such and such is my mom. So-and-so and such are my uncle and my aunt. Here's the thing. You need to first of all, it's context, it's setting. They say that when you're tripping, it's setting. That's the first of all, you got to recognize where you are. The privilege card of I'm such and such's son or daughter or whatever relative or just so and so's my mailman, whatever. I got the connects. This guy delivers the newspaper to me. I know so whatever it does. You want to drop a connect and you want to get privilege out of it. You got to recognize where you are. It's both a good thing and a bad thing. It's both it's bittersweet because in a sense, yes, you'd like to be able to, work your way up and be able to, do well in society and life so that in times of need, your loved ones can pull out the card, such and such is my dad. But this doesn't have, again, setting. This does not happen as often and as frequently in Western society, specifically places like the United States, Canada. It doesn't happen. That card does not have that much weight. It doesn't have that much pull. You got to remember that. So remember, setting. But I'm telling you right now, if you were in like parts of the Middle East, parts of Europe, parts of Africa, parts of Asia, such and such as my dad does go a long way. It does. It really does. Because again, it goes back to levels of corruption. So in a sense, it sucks for you as an individual. You're like, oh, I just pulled the car, dude. I just pulled the car. Such and such is my dad, dude. You start doing the logo. You start doing a hangman, dude. You're like, you know what? Right there, recognized, son. But it's sad because it doesn't have that pull here, but it is kind of a good thing because like at the end of the day, you look at the net benefit society. It tells you it's like an even playing field. That status doesn't buy you privilege just because you're such and such a son or daughter or whatever. Oh, who my pet who my pet dog is. Oh. Whatever connects you, who fixes the elevator at my house, So, dropping the names is a good thing, but you get setting. Western society doesn't, unless you got high connects, unless you got really, really high connects. being a sports icon, it's really like, it's impressive, it's great. You got to probably, a lot of benefit, a lot of privilege. Doesn't have that pull though. You can't mess with just ice. Because that's, again, monopolizing, and it's good that in a certain way it gives you reassurance. It's nice, because in other places you do see that, whatever happens, you pay a little money, you give a little envelope, you give it a little pat on the back, maybe you just even drop a name and then you drive off, no big deal. And you're like, yeah, that's fucking great. It's great until it happens in reverse to you. Somebody does something to you and then they drop a name and you're like, fuck. You drop a name and then they drop a bigger name. You're like, damn it. And that sucks. In a sense, it's beautiful. It's beautiful because it's like, yes, leveled playing field. It's great to be living in a society where it's a level playing field, where you can't just, On another note, though, how this could be implemented in a better way, because I want this to be a learning experience for all of us, in places where the dropping the name, I'm such and such a son or a daughter, doesn't go as far as it would in other places. In these contexts, in this setting, again, set setting, most important part of tripping, realize where you're at, and it becomes a negotiation. It becomes offer something on top. So when you say I'm Michael Jordan's son or anybody else's son or daughter, offer other things that go along. Straight up, I'm Michael Jordan's son or whoever's son, and then like whip out a wad of cash. Illegal, not, quote unquote, not supposed to do it, but at least offer something. Saying, I'm such and such a son or daughter, blank, just as a statement, doesn't get you far. Maybe if you had 10 grand on you, maybe if you just whip out like 10K, and I don't even know what the price is. And again, this goes into borderline, bribery and stuff. Like, I'm not telling you to do, but just expecting things to be given to you is not going to get you a long way. So always have a wad of cash on you, just in case you want to pull that card out. And don't be like, bout it. Just like, I'm so-and-so's son or daughter. As you're saying it, maybe just whip out a wad of cash and just start scratching your head with it and just maybe drop it. Maybe just drop it. Not even mention, does this belong to you? As you wad of cash on the floor, does this belong to you, officer? I think you may have dropped seems like 10,000 grand even. Doesn't belong to me. Certainly does not belong to me. Again, out of the pocket, drop on the ground. Certainly does not belong to me, officer. Does this look like something that might belong to you? Some along those lines. Offer something. In case of Michael Jordan's son, cash is always, cash is king. They say that. Other things you could offer, I would say, basketball lessons, free basketball lessons from, maybe like a 3-on-3, invite the officers back to your place for a little 3-on-3, dad involved, maybe, you know what I'm talking about? You can't just go drop a name, not offer anything, because again, level playing field for the most part, unless your dad's like in the mob, or like your dad's the, high government official, like intelligence, mob, president. These are like, and even then you can't be doing crazy shit, but like still, those are the, sports icon, fantastic, great shoot, offers shoes. Would you like some Jordans? All right. Autograph memorabilia, like, tickets to some games, maybe, and if all those fail, honestly, a good blowjob. Honestly, I'm just letting you know. And this is, again, this is not just about Michael Jordan's son. This is for all of us. Offer a blowjob. Get on your knees. Work it a little bit. Because you get everybody, it's, your dad does something, aunts, uncles, relatives have done something. You got to do something for yourself as well. I'm not saying you don't. I'm not even talking about the individual. This is just the larger picture at hand here. Do something, offer a service or goods, just, put something forward. Again, other parts of the world, you drop a name, it'll get you, it'll get you going. America, Canada, Western Hemisphere, for the most part, not so much. Again, certain positions, maybe, but again, even that is limited. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is, kind of levels out the playing field. Bad thing is, you don't get to sort of like, corruption is lessened. It's lessened corruption is what that is. If you like lessened corruption, that's what you get. You get lesser privileges like that as well. So use the privilege card, but also just, drop the keys to the car. Do you want the car keys? Do you want to take it for a spin? Have the keys to the car for a month. Have a Lambo for a month. Offer the car. You know what I mean? If you're with, If you're with escorts, offer an escort. Offer if you don't yourself, offer blowjobs. Maybe I'm not saying in this case. I'm just saying if there's other people with you who are down to party, would the officer gentleman like a massage? Just put it out there, see how it goes. I'm just letting you know, just blank statements of so and so or such and drop a name as my dad doesn't get you far. Want this to be a learning experience for all of us. And it's just how I feel about it. Just felt like I should be giving back. So you're welcome, everybody. Taking care of every little bit of thing that I can. One tiny step at a time. What else is going on, ladies and gents? Emilia Perez. I'm sure you're familiar with this name. Okay, maybe I wasn't familiar with the name. I saw the name pop off. Emilia Perez gets backlash. Emilia Perez this, that. And I had to briefly look it up and see what's going on with the backlash with Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez is a movie that's coming out. I think it's already out, maybe, I don't know. With one of the stars of the movie, Emilia Perez, Carla Sofia Gascon, Miss Gascon. This is what happened. She's a trans actress who's been maybe nominated for awards. I'm not quite sure. Maybe an Oscar or two. Maybe, I don't know. The movie's gotten a lot of, I think, nominations for the Oscars. And everybody was happy and everybody was great. And everybody's like, yes, Emilia Perez, starring other people, famous people. And then you got a trans lead who's taking the lead as a trans and it's good. And everybody was like, yes, trans movie, movie about a trans good. And everybody clapped and everybody was happy. This was a few weeks, maybe a few months ago. Maybe everybody was like, yes, trans, yes. And still we are like, yes, trans, good, yes, trans. So trans good, yes, until recently there have been new reports popping off that the star of this movie, Emilia Perez, Miss Carla Sofia Gascon, sounds French, but I believe she's of Hispanic or Spanish descent, but it doesn't, that's aside the point. Gascon. Doesn't matter. Turns out that this lady, who's a trans lady, in the past may have posted some personal opinions on the lines, all right? She may have gone online and posted a few opinions concerning other groups. And she may have said some things that may have been allegedly deemed as offensive or maybe hurtful or hateful. And it caught my attention because let's check it out is what I said. What did she say? Who did she say what to? And this is what I found. She said a few things about the Islams. She said a few things maybe about the George Floyd and the police brutality. She made a few comments. It might have not been, whatever. It's what it is. But she made a few comments. And up until the comments were discovered, everybody was like, yes, trans queen, pop that wiener, or like reverse, tuck that wiener. They were saying that the first one, pop that wiener, but like tuck that wiener, yes, trans, yes. Great movie. I don't know what the movie's about, to be honest with you. I have no idea. I looked it up briefly. I think it's about a drug kingpin who then transitioned and said no to drugs and kingpinning. I don't know. I don't care. Because it doesn't catch my interest. That's just, but so here's the thing. This is my problem with this whole situation. So she said a few things on the lines a few years ago, not even currently, at least from what I know, not even currently, a few years ago, maybe, 4 or 5, who knows, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, who cares? Doesn't matter, a long time ago. Not today, not this week. She didn't say anything bad this week, who cares? But people are like, oh, but she said a thing. She said she has opinions and she doesn't like maybe the Islams or the way that, maybe she criticized the Oscars or whatever. She said stuff. She pointed out her opinions about a few topics. And before her opinions were, published or brought to light once again, people loved her. They're like, yes, trans movie actress does trans movie. Yes, trans. We're trying to push that. Not me personally, society, not all of us, but yes, should trans people be, adult trans people should be respected, loved, and, all that? Yes, of course. Here's my my little this is where my titties get twisted. This is where I get fucked up. This is where I want to just. I don't, she shouldn't be. I don't think she should be like kicked out of the Oscars or denominated or whatever, or kind of like shunned by her peers or coworkers or the committee or the whatever, the Oscars, whoever. I don't know, because of her opinions. Because it's called freedom of speech. It's called being able to express yourself. It's called having differing opinions. People have the right to go online or even in person and say whatever they want. It's called freedom of speech. So I don't particularly agree with what has happened to her. I hope she if it's a good movie, I hope she still I've not seen. I'm not interested in the movie just because the movie it's if I want a kingpin and a drug kingpin, I want him to be I want that to be like a I want it to be like a traditional gangster kingpin drug guns. So I don't want a drug kingpin who halfway through decides to say what, this is drug kingpinning is not for me. I just want to tuck it and cut it and get breasts. I want to do that. That to me, if it's a good, and I haven't even seen the movie, I'm not gonna see the movie because again, that storyline, I hear what the storyline is. I'm like, I'm out. That's not for me. I'm out. Is it gonna win? If it's a good movie, let it win. If it's a great movie, let it win. If she's like, not because she's trans, not because if it's a great storyline, if her acting is fantastic, if she's like the best drug kingpin, then fucking great. If it stands up for itself, if it stands up on its own 2 feet for itself, if it makes me just if it inspires me to want to be a drug lord, like other movies have in the past, then I'll be like, yes. I just don't think that's the path because I don't get, it's. Yeah, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Did I watch Blow when I was younger and wanted to become a cocaine trafficker? Of course I did. Scarface, how many of us were touched by Scarface? Do I want to, now all of a sudden, do I want to kind of low-key become one of the biggest drug kingpins of Cuba and South America and maybe even Miami? Yes, of course. The world is mine, the world is yours, the world is our oyster. Say hello to my little friend, mate. You go nuts, you see it, it's inspiring because it's relatable. The trans community is in and of itself very small, and then you're within the trans community, here's a drug kingpin it's too little to be popular in a sense that it's not organic, to me at least. Is it based on a true story? I don't know. Even if it is, again, it's the smallest of the smallest sliver of a piece of pie that doesn't tell me, hey, you're gonna watch this, become a drug kingpin, and halfway through you're gonna do trans, and it's all gonna work out just fine. Everybody's gonna love it too. It doesn't, I want, personally, trans, love them. I don't care. Do it. But I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you're going to do it, you better look fucking hot. You better look. I say this. Does it pass the taste test? Does it pass the taste? That's where I'm at. Does it pass the taste test? Because I'm questioning and I'm curious. Does the vagina taste like a real vagina? Once it passes the taste, then fine. But if you're sucking on clit, next thing jizz on your face, then personally speaking, pass. Not yet, not now. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe get it figured out. Until then, if it doesn't pass the taste test, I'm good. I'm gonna say no trans drug kingpin because it's not real. It's not something that I'm gonna get inspired by. I want a movie that's you want to either be the villain or the hero in the movie. You watch those movies, you watch every movie, you want to get away, escape to either be the hero or the villain. You root for the good guy or the bad guy, it doesn't matter, but it's got to be relatable. Trans, already a small portion of the population, not relatable to most people. Trans drug kingpin, extremely unrelatable. Is it a good movie? Maybe it's the best movie. Maybe I'll watch it and I'll be like, fuck it up, cut it off, and let's drug kingpin. Maybe I will. Maybe I'm probably not. That's just me being honest. Honesty is the best policy. Do that and climb fences. That's form of exercise. These are just traditional sayings that we've been saying throughout all of history. So, do I want her to go to the Oscars? Of course. Should she be shunned? In my opinion, no. And it's great. So what? She has real opinions. That actually, on a sense, I actually like her. I don't like the movie. I don't like the topic of the movie. I don't care about it. I don't care. It doesn't. I'm being honest. I don't care about a trans drug kingpin. I don't care. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't tickle my, it doesn't make me want to be like, yes, let's get a lot of cocaine and chop our cocks off. Yes, doesn't make me want to do that. What I do genuinely like the person now, though. I like Carla, Gascon. I like Carla Gascon now because at least she's being honest. At least she's being true. And that sucks because this is the problem with Hollywood. This is the problem with, like, I guess, traditional, old school, whatever, legacy media, whatever, whether it's in forms of Hollywood or news media outlets that used to want everything, but you want it like cookie cutter and fitting in and everybody supporting everybody, and it's just not the way the world works. It's just not the way the world works. You can have different opinions, and you should, and that is real. That is real. You can't just be like, okay, have LGBT in support of Hamas. Two contradictory thoughts. So you can't force feed things to people. In a sense, I like her more now. I never even knew about her. I kind of like her now just because I know she has real opinions, and I hope she doesn't take them back. So if she wants to take them back, take them back. Like that's on you. Whatever, do whatever you want to do. It's your life. Live it free. Live free. Cocks out. Tuck it. Tuck it. Tuck it. Drop it off. All of it. Ladies and gents, that's just a little bit something I want to get off my chest because it's Friday. Yeah, so let her go to the Oscars, and if it's a good movie, if it's the best trans drug kingpin, then fucking let's give her some awards and let's let her win. If it's not a great movie, then whatever. There's other movies. What else is going on? Kanye West is... Here's the thing, all right? I just want to start with this. I'm a fan of the music, love the music. Don't know the man, don't know many people. Love the music. For the most part, love the music. I can't listen to Black Skinhead and make, again, things that make you want to do the thing that, things that touch you. Do I listen to Black Skinhead and does it make me want to, get a tan, shave my head, and, just start doing things? Yes. Do I want to, does it inspire me? Yes. Fan of music, great music. But again, in the news, I believe it was recently, just after the Grammys, it just came out that Kanye West is no longer bipolar. He's been now diagnosed as autistic. He's got the TISM, apparently. TISM for yay. Yay, TISM. This is here's the little, we'll unpack it, we'll try to digest it together, see where, overall, I love people, I have no, whatever. This is just what it is. It's just, I believe there might be, here's the thing. Could it be that Kanye West is just a creative person? Could it just be that? Could it be, does it have to be? I'm not saying he is or isn't this or that. But I just don't want to, I do see a little bit of this, a little bit of self-diagnoses, a little bit of over-diagnoses of people in society. I'm not, mental health, all that, physical health, all of it, I'm in favor of it, of course. But there seems to be a little bit like everybody's got a little bit of something. And that's fine too, you could legitimately have stuff. But it just shouldn't, it shouldn't excuse you from like whatever. You shouldn't do this, that, and the other and be like, well, it's because of my tizzy, it's because of my, bipolar, it's because of my depression, it's because of my anxiety, it's because of my OCD, it's because there's just too many things that everybody could have. And that's fine. Act however you want to act. Do whatever. It's a free country, free world, doing it. Big tits, cocks out, guns out, all of it. But don't, because that just, does it raise awareness? In a sense, I guess, yes, great. We're all fully aware. We are all now aware that there's, people just come in I've said this from the beginning, I'll keep saying it. I believe we're all retarded to a certain degree. Every humanity as in total, we have to be. It's crazy. We are on a rock, spinning in midair, hanging on to what knows what, spinning and doing services and goods and exchanging it for cash while there's asteroids fucking flying nearby, while there's, shit that might be living in the, who knows, there's just so much. So all of it is you get up and you have 12, 16 hours before it's just lights out on what even our dreams and sleeping, and then you go into another realm and then you wake up and you're like, everything's normal now. So you got to do that, and we do that, and everybody does it for the most part. So but then you got to realize it is a lot, and we do take it all in. We take it all in stride, and it's good. And it's beautiful. He does great art. I love his music. But I just like, jumping from one thing to another, I just do, and this goes to the, masses as, I'm not just talking about yay or whatever. You don't need to diagnose. You don't need to, not everybody needs to be on something. Everybody is a little bit retarded. That little blanket statement should let you know that you yourself are a little bit retarded. I speak for myself, I'll say a little bit retarded for sure. For sure, dude. What are we talking about? But everybody is, though. I've not met one person in life who is not a little bit, you spend enough time with somebody, you're like, okay, a little bit. And that goes for everybody. Listening to people, seeing people, whether it's in real life or on the lines, everybody is on some sort of spectrum. So just maybe understanding that will help us all kind of accept one another and stop having, these expectations of people to be either perfect or some sort of, I don't know. It's just a little bit like, I don't want it to become like, conversely, you know what? Fuck it up. Put a label on yourself, make it cool. Autism's like the shit now. Let's get back into business. I say Yeezys with Adidas autistic style, dude. Maybe the lines are like not so, maybe the lines are even more straight on the Yeezys because he's fucking autistic now. And those lines better be fucking linear and laser precision lines on the Yeezys. Maybe that's, I don't know if he likes lines or not. I particularly do enjoy a straight line. God. Nothing gets me going like a straight line, just no fucking vibrations, just unless we want added vibrations, then vibrate. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying maybe autism's gonna be the new, it is kind of like autism is the new, I don't even know what it is, the new thing. Fucking summer of 2025. Autism's for everybody. Autism's gonna, you know what, in a sense it is good, because like if Kanye does get autism, then it'll like become really popular in the Black community, then it will become really popular in general, then autism will be celebrated, then everybody's got autism, then we're all just autistic, fucking bumping into one another and trying to live life as best as we can. So yeah, man, this summer, buy Adidas, buy a little bit of autism, give your kids autism a little bit. Get the Yeezy line of autism, of course. You want your kid to be dropping bangers and making bank and making logos and fucking stitching it on, clothing attire and getting fucking, sponsors. Yes, of course you do. So there's many of it. I hope autism becomes more popular. Actually, this could be a great thing. I take it all back. Label yourself and label yourself hard and autism or any other sort of, label. These labels are great. It's a great way to rid yourself of any sort of responsibility. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The autism or any other sort of, mental or physical, state of being. I don't even want to call it a disadvantage because sometimes fucking works out to be really great. Fucking autism, and yeah, if it is true, it worked out for the most part. Autism and Elon fucking worked out great. And Zuckerberg worked out great, so it's just like, what you want, a little bit of it. You want a little bit of it, not too much, a little bit of it. But if it's too much, lean into it. It's a great way to rid yourself of responsibilities and societal expectations. No one cares. And literally no one does care. Walk around, be your most beautiful, sexy self, do whatever it takes to get you from A to B and fucking succeed in life. That's what it's all about. Autism for everybody. Let's get everybody autism. Let's get it in a shot. Let's make autism shots. And this summer, let's all just fucking get retarded. Let's all do it. I'm talking, just do it. Nike autism. Athletes just fucking spazzing mid-court, but also dunking really well. Who knew they could be two things at the same time? Autism. Right there, dude. Get a little bit of autism. That's all I'm trying to say. Ladies and gents, what else is going on? I believe the parents group of Google just came out and said, that's Alphabet. Parent group of Google just came out and they said, we may have previously made a promise, and that was we promised to not make weapons using AI. They made that promise. Now they're saying we're no longer promising that. It was a hard decision. It was a very difficult decision that we here at Alphabet had to make, okay? First, at Google and Alpha, we said, do no evil. That was one of our other promises. Like, do no evil. One of the logos, the ethos, mantra, whatever you want to call it, was part of the gig, it's part of the deal. Google's don't do any evil. And low key, not that we do evil, but like, but whatever. If it happens, so we dropped that. That saying is gone. And then we made other sayings. I don't know why we keep saying things. Why don't we just do it? That's. We said we're not going to use AI to make weapons. And after a hard look at ourselves and searching, really, here at Google, we had to sit down and really look and ask ourselves, what's really important to us? What really matters? What's on the table? And after setting our nuts on the table and then removing our nuts from the table, because that's how the best forms of thought come about, by getting in groups of at least larger than 4 and setting your nuts on the table and looking at one another and saying, hey, why don't we just pitch some ideas and see what flies? And we did that at Google. And it seems like, after we said no AI for weapons, it seems like the table is looking back at us and saying, hey, there's a lot of money to be made here. There's just a lot of money to be made in automated autonomous weapons using AI. And it was a tough decision, of course. It was a very difficult decision. First, we're like, we've showed you videos, and I'm not saying Google's made these videos, but I'm just saying together as we've showed you, robots. We've showed you robots in forms of dogs that are barking. Or I'm not saying Google's doing these robots, but I'm saying and you've seen other robots do parkour and like backflips and working in a factory, and like fucking Chinese robots are now doing dancing. Have you seen the Chinese robots dancing and twirling? Oh my God, and we've said collectively that we're not going to use these robots and these AIs for weapons. We initially said that. But again, after a considerable amount of, really just introspection, we looked and we said, what are we doing this? What are we doing all of this for anyway? Is it for a family? Is it for God and country? And then that's when the drugs wore off, and we sat down and really thought, and we're like, no, it's about money. It's about money. There's a lot of money. So we said, you know what, fuck it up. Drones, AI drones, yes, may come. There's a lot of money in there. AI robot dogs, automated weapons, yes, let's go. Robots that fucking, can take down like at least 10 people by themselves because they're agile, flexible, fast twitch robots with weapons, yes. Robots that can look you in the eye and figure out your next 20 moves before you can, yes. Why? Because of money. It's a lot of money to be made. You're going to be super happy about all of this. And yes, we made a promise, but now we're breaking it in Google. Here's the thing. From now on, just don't make any promises. Just lay it out. Just lay out the inventions, put out the company. It's all for the monies. It's all for the cash. Let's just do that. Honesty is the best policy, because you make a promise, and it's a grand promise in the beginning. You're like, no evil. And you're like, why the fuck would you say that? We weren't expecting, you're just a company. Why would you make such a weird promise? It's like, any other company that makes that statement, you'd be like, dark arts. You'd be like, who does that? You don't have a shawarma sandwich shop at the corner saying we're going to be serving shawarmas and not doing any evil. You're like, yeah, good, great. Or like fucking, a typewriter selling store. We sell typewriters and we're definitely not going to be doing any evil. You're like, yeah, fucking great, expect it. I want a typewriter and I don't want any evil. The next thing you know, 2 months later, like, you know what? This typewriter business, as good as it is, we could definitely use a little bit of evil money. We are definitely going to start using our typewriters for evil. So quit it with the logos and the slogans. Just be honest, but just straight up be like, you know what? These robots are mostly not going to be killing you, but sometime if we see it feasible and if it's going to make us bank, and then we'll definitely do a little bit of evil. We'll do a little bit of evil. Can you just understand it from our perspective, please? Can you just be human for a second and understand this from our perspective? There's just so much money. Automated weapons, drones, AI drones, and no human lives lost on our side. Whoever's side is making the drones, and everybody's making the drones. So no human lives lost on all sides, except when all sides decide to build AI drones. Great. Then let's all make money until our AIs do their work, which is good, and I'm happy about it. No, I believe we're on the right track. No, but just be honest with it. Just be honest with it. That's what I want. Honesty is the best policy. Just be honest from the get-go. Just say what, again, going back to, just be honest. Whether you got autism, whether you are a trans, but don't actually, if you've got opinions, be on. It's good because you get real. At least you know where you stand. I'd rather hurt a little bit, but at least I know where I stand. Be honest with me. your Googles, just be like, yes, you know what? We said we're not going to do evil. That's mostly we're going to do evil. Just say that. Or don't say anything at all. I wouldn't even associate it with you. But now you said it. I'm like, why would you, So don't put it in my head. Don't say we're not going to use AI for weapons at all. And that's a promise too. And you're like, oh, that's great. It's going really far. I wasn't even thinking about that. But now you put it in my head. And now you break that promise. I'm like, well, that's all they're going to make now. Forget it. Forget information. Now that's just their bread and butter. It's just going to be automated AI drones. So there's a lot of money, though. I do see it it's on the table, and my heart does go out. And we here at the Google, head offices, we have hard decisions to make, and this one's actually harder on us than it is on you. So please try to understand it from our perspective. Just a lot of money to say no to. If you were in that position, would you say no to all that money? No, then shut the fuck up then. All right, let's do a little bit of evil. All right, make a little bit of dough, and get on some fucking yachts. All right, ladies and gents. I've got good news. I've got bad news. Good news, we're gonna be tripping. We're going on a trip. Pack your bags. Pack your bags, ladies and gents. We are going to be tripping. We are going to pack your bags. Dim the lights. Play a little bit just dim the lights. Play a little bit of R&B. Play a little bit of Lionel Richie. We're going to get our ethnic cleansing on, baby. We're going to get our ethnic cleansing on. I believe we're going to be making moves. I believe that's the thing. I don't know. I don't actually know. I believe this is what's happening. Good news is we're going to be, hey, we're going to be ethnic cleansing, I think. I'm not quite sure. We'll get to it. President Trump just recently said, I believe it was on Tuesday, that America is going to take over Gaza. It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to, digest. Not for me personally. I have no, I'm living in the 51st motherfucking state here, living my best life. So I'm all gooch. But good news is we're going to be making some moves. Bad news is if you happen to be on the receiving end of that news, which is only roughly, I believe, 2 million Palestinians. Good news for the most people, bad news for Palestinians. And it sucks. It breaks my heart. It sucks for Palestinians. Situation is it's been going on for a really long time. What is the solution? It's a toss-up. Here's the reality of the matter is, because again, it's a little bit just being honest. At least I like this because it's honest. I like honesty. At least we know because you didn't know where you stand. At least now you know. I think that's a good thing. That's at least a positive thing. You're gonna have to move. Where? We'll figure it out. I don't know. Maybe a little bit Egypt, maybe a little bit Jordan. But let's stay focused. First of all, people might say this is ethnic cleansing or whatever. Some people might say, oh, that's like genocide. And think about it this way. Think about it like this. Just all those things that you just said have kind of like a negative connotation to them, and it doesn't make me feel so good, all right? It doesn't make me feel like, doesn't make me feel like fuzzy inside. It makes me feel like, ugh, I don't, ethnic cleansing. Are we like, are we talking about taking which ethnic cleansing? Because you hear the word ethnic and it just kind of like, in the mind of of the receiver of the person, you hear ethnic, you just think anything other than white, but whites are ethnic to their ethnic whites. So ethnic in itself is just kind of lost meaning for me, to be honest with you. I hear ethnic and I'm like, it's whatevs. That's me personally speaking. But then cleansing comes in and you're like, first of all, again, ethnic cleansing, getting rid of a population is traditionally, classically speaking, not good, maybe, not good. But we've done it. We've always done it. We've done it throughout history. It's just been going on. Every group ethnically cleanses itself. One population does it to another. Multiple populations do it to each other. It's been happening. It's not a new thing. Ethnic cleansing, genocide. It's part of us. It's part of humanity. And it sucks to be on the receiving end of it. Absolutely does suck to be on the receiving end of it. On the serving end of it, it's not that bad. On the serving, I was just looking at things realistically. On the serving end of it is not that bad. It's actually great. So let's try to stay positive. If you're Palestinian, my heart goes out. Solutions, I personally can't do anything, even if the most logical explanation would be that, yes, make it a two-state, make it a two-split state, take the land, divide it into, make it into Palestine, Israel, Palestine, make it just one country, make them live together. But here's the reality of the matter. It's not even about Israel. It's not about Jewish people. It's not about the Jewish people living in Israel. It's not about Islam. It's about we live in an age of expansion. We've always lived in that sense. But now at least we're honest about it. This is what I like. At least we're honest about it. It's the age of expansion. All right. You had the Russias going into the Ukraines, China eyeing Taiwan, Hong Kong, who knows, wherever's. People's doing things. Expansion. If you can, you should. If you can't, that's realities of life. Stronger, better, faster, survival of the fittest sort of situation. It's an age of, it's empire building. It's been with us for a long time. I know we don't call it empires in a modern sense, but kind of is. So it doesn't matter that it's Israel. It's what matters is that we want it. We want it. We want it. And we just want it. We want it. It doesn't, it's just a good piece. It's just, it could have been anything. It's just whatever. The superpower of the world wants it. We here in the 51st state, as a collective, we, the United States government, citizens, we want it. It's one of those things. We're in power. We're numero uno. We're the big dog. We're the big dog on the courtyard. We're the big dog on the basketball court. We're the big dog on the, whatever court that you're like, whatever the dog situation, wherever the dog's at, we're the biggest dog. We're the girthy dog. We're the dog with the pulsating vein coming out of the necks. We're the dog that's just like, we're right there. Ego fucking, just it's and again, if you're on this side, it's great. If you're on the receiving side of it, and again, this has been going on throughout history, all throughout history. If this was the Mongolian times, you would have wished you were, on the not receiving end of the Mongols. You would have wished you were like the Mongols yourselves. If this was the, whatever, go through the, if you were in the Roman Empire times, you would have wished you were in the Roman Empire, not the receiving end of it. So all I'm saying is just what it is. The superpower of modern times saying, hey, for national security purposes or other purposes, just because, whatever, it doesn't matter. Do you even need to know why? It doesn't matter. We want it. It's ours. We want it. It's ours. Let's just move you guys to either Gaza. Let's just move Palestinians to Jordan or Egypt. This does not do anything for me. This has nothing to do with me. I'm just trying, because that's the thing. I'll read the headlines and people will say, from the Palestinian side, I'll say, we'll die over here. We will stay here until we die, which is your pride talk. It's your pride talk. And I get it. I understand this, because you're 2 million people with no legitimate government, no sort of, any sort of real representation other than like a terrorist group. And you want to stand up to Israel, but Israel is really the United States. Let's just call it what it is, So it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It would suck for 2 million people to die. And nobody's going to say this in modern times because that would be politically incorrect, but that's essentially what we want. The land either move or it's going to be turned into rubble, which already has. And then people will die very slowly, but through dire means and just circumstance. But you'll die. Get up and move. Get a piece of land. It's just what happened. It's just what we do. Sometimes we do this. It sucks. It doesn't happen too often, but sometimes it happens. All right? I'd rather the population live than die. From poverty, from all sorts of, God, it's been horrible. We can't even start to, it sucks. Is it easy for them? No. They've lost their homes. They've lost their families, all of them. Does it suck? Yes. Is there a solution to it? If it happens to be, get a piece of land in the Middle East. It does, make a new Palestine. Give them a new Palestine. Give them a new Palestine, either in Egypt, Jordan. Make them a little country. Plenty of space for everybody to share. People don't need to die. Is all I'm saying. Let's just find a reasonable solution to end it. And I like the honesty. At least we're honest about it. This is good, because two-state solution, it gets fucking sabotaged by different sides, and at the end of the day, everybody just tosses up their hats and they're like, well, we can't negotiate with each other, so let's just do business as usual. So Good news is we want it. Good news is that we want it. Opportunities, tons of opportunities. We are going to turn Gaza into an extension of the United States, which means I'm talking fucking McDonald's. Let's go. Talking construction. There's so much money to be made, so much revenue to be made just from the construction gigs. We are going to go in there and just make beautiful buildings, beautiful resorts, make Gaza into like a holiday destination. Make it, and then Palestinians, like not immediately, you'll be able to visit. Not like immediately after we built it, give us a few decades. After it's like, thriving metropolis, you can visit. Not for too long, probably not, because we don't want to like everybody else can. You probably won't be able to. You probably don't want to. It's a great place to go, actually. It's like the Vegas of the Middle East. They say that Gaza is the Vegas of the Middle East. Everybody wants to go. You probably want to go. You probably shouldn't. It'll just spark, former memories of lost homes and family member. But that's the negative side of it. That sucks. That's for 2 million people. That sucks but the vast majority of the people, again, is that we want it. It's the shiny thing that we want for whatever purpose, whether national security, international peace, whatever the reason is, doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Who cares? It's the power. It's the superpower that wants it. We want it. We want it. Okay. Russia got into Ukraine. China wants Taiwan. We want Israel / Palestine / Gaza. We want it. We want it. All right. We got to be there. We got to be there. You can't not have us in there. We want to be there. Can't just have. Because that's the thing, again, I feel bad for the Palestinians, but it sucks because you become a proxy for the Iranian government, and it sucks. And some people might be like, yeah, Israel is the proxy of the United States. And yes, that's the roll of the dice. Superpower wins. It's the way it goes. You're not going to win. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. The solution, move to a place where it's safe, where you can actually live and build generations of happiness, fruitfulness, longevity, memories, good memories. In the meantime, Gaza will turn into a large shopping mall, just fucking, just lands filled with, casinos. Let's take care of the Palestinians if we can as well. I'm not saying just just don't toss them into a direction of the middle of the, let's actually help people, let's actually take a little portion of all these. There's so many Middle Eastern countries in there, and the size of Palestine and, Gaza is not even that large. It's 2 million people. Unless, again, the most logical thing would have been for all of this to be just make it a 2-state thing. But that's just not gonna, it's not been happening, and the things keep getting worse and worse for the Palestinians. At least I like the honesty. At least I like the honesty here. Make it an Israeli state, which is basically an American state. Make it be, it's America. It's America in the Middle East. We want to be in the Middle East. We want to be in there. Why? Because we're a superpower. We want to be in there. Deal with it. If you can't, suck it. Suck it if you can. That's the way it goes. And we got bigger plans. It's just world domination, little by little. But it's hard. It's one step at a time. It's competing forces. We got to be there. And this is the honest truth. This is the honest, as far as I understand it anyway. There's probably, I'm sure there's way more stuff that I'm unaware of, that's way above my pay grade. And again, I've said this before, I'll say it again, I don't even get paid for this shit. This is just for funs and, this is for shits and giggles, boys and girls, ladies and gents. This is just us having a little chit chat. So if you like to fiscally, financially support the show and watch your boy go down to, again, think about this, driving your fancy car on a nice highway in the Middle East, listen to music, tits out, drinking all sorts of, tropical drinks, fucking getting high. Let's do it together. And do a little bit of shopping, do a little bit of gambling, get a couple of, Starbucks in there, McDonald's in there, nice, fast food joints, and then independent stores that will make you the best steak in the Middle East. Fucking yes, let's go, right there. You want to get a tiger, put it in your Lambo, because that's what they do. They put tigers in Lambos in the Middle East. You could do that now in Gaza. Not now, but very soon. You'll be able to do it. You can't do it now. Why? It's just rubble. It's just rubble. Do you want a tiger in a car and sipping on a mimosa and maybe smoking a little bit of hookah and listening to Habibi music? You can't do that now. You can't do that. Down the line, you'll be able to do that. Not to all people, Palestinians, again, keep away for a little while. Let us rebuild. In a while, future generations may want to visit their partially ancestral land. I don't know. How do we fix it? Let's just fix it. Let's just fix it by being honest. So honesty is the best policy. Let's go down, make a lot of bank. The reconstruction goes a long way. Lots of projects. I'm talking beach resorts, fucking just beach resorts. I don't even know if they've got a beach. We can make fake ones. It doesn't matter. Money can buy anything. Money does buy everything. Even happiness, specifically happiness. Whoever said that to you, that money doesn't buy happiness, they're liars. They're lying. They're lying to you. They're lying to you right now. Money doesn't buy happiness. They're lying fools. They're lying fools. Then give me your money. If it doesn't buy any happiness, then give it to me then. And let's rebuild Gaza. So pack your bags. We're going on a trip, and like I said, let's just it's your perspective of ethnic cleansing and genocide needs to be reformed. Okay? Yes. Happened to the Jewish people, sad. Happened to the Armenians by the Turks, sad. But that was then, man. That was then, different. This is new, and it's fucking. Just think about just one last ethnic cleansing sesh. Think about it like a Fast and the Furious movies. We do a little one every once in a while. It's good. And sometimes you're like, all right, that's enough. And then you need a little bit of time in between. And then think about it like this: one last time. Just make it a good movie. One last time. One last ethnic cleansing sesh where everybody's cleansed. Think about it as maybe a solution of a last solution, what's the word I'm looking? Maybe like a final solution sort of thing, but not quite though, because that one went awry in many ways. But you know what I mean. It's more or less samesies but different, because the sides switch, and it's what's happening now? Good things are happening. For who? A lot of people. Bad things are happening. To who? A small portion of the population, which is not you. Unless you happen to be Palestinian, which again sucks. 2 million people, it sucks. But again, vast majority of people, superpower, we're kicking ass, fucking launching things into space, grabbing them, making AIs, making moves. It's the way it goes, baby. Big dog shit, big dog shape, big dick swinging. It's big dick swinging, 2025. Keep it straightforward, keep it honest. Fucking, let's go to the moon. Let's also fucking, again, pack your bags, dim the lights, put on a little bit of Lionel Richie, and we're gonna make love in Gaza, baby. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.